and thank you for purchasing the Sticky Image Shopify section by qwiqode. In this video, I'll be showing you how to actually use it. So if you haven't installed yet, please refer to the separate video included in the package. You also have access to a PDF with instructions. So to get started, head over to your theme editor, navigate to the page you want to add the section to, and then over on the left, click on Add Section and search for the section you installed. So you get a default view with the placeholders of an image and text blocks. Over on the left, you have a place where you can add additional text blocks. As you can see that they scroll like this. And then over on the right, we have plenty of different settings that you can change to get it looking the way you want. So let's start by adding some content. So clicking on the first text block, over on the right, you have a place to add a title. So let's just put default title of title 1, text block. Place some lorem ipsum in there. Button label, you have an option to put a button, so you could change the label here to whatever you'd like, and then adding a link to it. Or you could just choose not to have a button, and you just remove the label, and the button is gone. Let's keep the button there for now. Next, you have an option to set the alignment, so you could do left, center, or right. Like that. Let's keep this one at the left. Now, media to show, there are two options in this entire in the entire section. You can either have one image or video that appears while you scroll and doesn't change, or you can have an image or a video per block of text. So we'll add some images here, and then we'll see the difference because you can turn on and off the different settings. So select an image, scroll down here. Choose this image. We don't see it. Let's go over here and turn display main off, and then we can see our results, and then later we'll change that back. So we have this image. As you can see, it's right now being cropped square. We can set that up later as well. If we'd like a video instead, then we would select here and we'd select video. Now right now there's a default YouTube video. You can also add an MP4 video as well if you're interested in that, which is a locally saved file. So you would take your MP4, you'd upload it in the Shopify admin. If you go to settings and then click on files over on the left, once you upload it, you have an icon, a link icon that you copy the link, and then you can paste it right over there, and then you have the video link. But let's keep this particular section or block with an image. And for video, we can also add a poster image which covers the image. I'll show you that in the next block. So if we go to the second block, let's put in here 2. Then we can get some lorem ipsum. Let's say this one doesn't have a label. Make this center aligned. video. And then we can select a poster image if we'd like. So let's just choose this random image, and then you see there's a play button. So when you're on that relevant section, you click on it, you get the video. Or alternatively, you can also put in the MP4 like I showed you before. And you also have the play button there. Let's go to one more block. So on this block, let's call it 3. So lorem ipsum. Make it a little bit shorter. Let's do this right aligned just for the fun of it. And let's put in another image. Okay. And then this last one, we put in 4 for default, but we can remove that block. And of course, you can add up to 16 of these. You can rearrange their order and so on. So now that we added the content for the main blocks, click over on the left side, on the main section. And then over on the right, we have all these other settings to update. So we have section title, which would be here. You could put in a main section title that appears and then it disappears while you're scrolling, and a text block as well. HTML element, you can set the element of the header from either an H1 to an H6, and this gives 2 benefits. One for SEO, as search engines rank different headlines on your page by importance, and that you actually tell the search engine what's important. So usually a page title, which is like the main description of the page, and it goes usually on the top, it would be considered an H1, and it's recommended just to have 1 on each page. And then other titles going down get different rankings, and you can select it. So usually H2 for like sections, or H3 for maybe title blocks like that, and so on. The other benefit is for styling. Since your theme already has predefined styling for the different H1, H2s, you can set that and already inherit them instead of you going in and updating them here as well. So those are the 2 benefits. Next, we have the text section for the text box for the section, which is right up there. Now here about the images, like I said before, so if we want to have the image change as we're scrolling, then we do what we have done up until now. If you want just one image, you would select display main image, go into here, let's select this image, and then the image will not change once you're scrolling. And same goes for video. If we want a video instead, then we would have this video there, and then it wouldn't change while scrolling, like that. Let's keep these turned off for now. Moving on. Poster image in MP4, that's all just as I explained. For others, just for the main image if you want that override. Next, we have section width. So we can control the width of the entire section together. So when it's set to regular, you can make this section much smaller or much bigger, up to a maximum of 1500, like that. And you can also set a background color for the entire section. And as you can see, we can set padding in a minute, but it fits exactly, and then you scroll, and when the section is done, then the color ends. But you can also set this to full width, which stretches the section all the way to the edges of the screen. And then the max width, you can also set the max width of the content still within it. It just gives you that advantage where the color stretches from edge to edge in the browser. Next, we can set margin top and margin bottom. Margin top is a space above and then below the section. If you most probably you'll have more content above and below, and you want more space, so you can set that up, and then it moves it down. And same thing with margin bottom; it pushes anything underneath some more. And padding is the distance within the section. So right now we have padding top and bottom. So if we set padding top, you can see now we have more space right over there. And padding bottom would be right there. As you can see, there's this space there. And padding horizontal is only for specific cases, so it gives space on both right and left, but you don't really see that unless you're in regular mode. And then you have the padding right over there. We have also the same settings, but just specifically for mobile versions. Since distances are different or look different on mobile, you'd want to have separate settings for those devices. So you can set those up here. Next, we have section heading styling. So that's styling for this area. You can change the color. You can use a custom font. So you would check here and then the font changes, and you can select a font from the list that Shopify provides. Or if you have a manually installed font, you can paste the font name from CSS right into there. Next, you have default font weight. So if you want a different one, you can set it there like that. Section title alignment. So we have left aligned, center aligned, and right aligned. You could set the font size. If it's set to 0, then it inherits it from the theme. Otherwise, you can change the font size like that. And line height, this is specifically useful if you have a very long title and it goes down to 2 lines, then you can adjust the space between each line. And letter spacing if you need more space between each letter. Title margin bottom, so that's a space here. So if you want more breathing room between the title and the text block, you can set it there. And the same settings for mobile version, which is title alignment, font size, line height, letter spacing, and margin bottom. Next, we have section area, text area styling, which would be this. So the same idea, the same type of settings. You can change the colors. You could change the font weight, text alignment, margins, and all that. And the identical settings for mobile version. Next, we have settings for the image and the video styling or video styling. So we can make this much bigger, so we can set the width to take much more space if you'd like it like that, or much less. Right now it's set to 50%. So we can keep that there for now. Image dimensions. So like I mentioned before, right now it's being cropped to square, but you can choose a portrait, landscape, or original, like that. I didn't mention also, if you don't want to have this the section title or a text block content, of course, you can just go in there and delete it, and then you won't have any of it. Going back to the image video. So let's set this back to square. Now, like I mentioned, we have a video here that we put a a cover on it, which automatically brings in the arrow button, the play button. So you can change the play button if you'd like. If you have a different image, you can place it here. Or if you have an SVG icon, it's a little bit more for advanced users, then you would upload that to settings files in the admin, copy the link, the path to it, and paste it right into there, and then you get the play button right there. And you can set the size, so you can have it small or large, etc. You can autoplay the video. So autoplay, when you have a cover, then you would click it and it would automatically play. If you don't have a cover, then it would the video also would automatically play. We can also adjust this to move it to the left or to the right. Now you probably have noticed that the text here is touching the image, so you can set a gap as with, I think, about up to 50 to give some breathing room right over there. This gives you an option to set the position of the image either above, below, or hidden on mobile view. So if we go into mobile view, so we can choose to hide it. And then basically it would just show the text. So this is not really recommended. You can have the image shown at the bottom and the text would just appear like so. If you notice that it still fades in kind of when you're scrolling down, or you can have it at the top. Like that. Next, something that you also probably noticed that is problematic is that the image is pausing underneath. It's pausing at the very top of the page. So here you could set the sticky position so that the sticky position will be certain distance. As you can see now, it's much nicer. It stops at 16% of the height from the top. And of course, you can have it more if you'd like it to be more centered like that. And we have that same option for mobile version so that you know where it's going to stop. Now we get into the editing of the text block styling here. So here we can set horizontal padding, which also gives some more breathing room between the image and the text. So you could set that up like that, and it gives more padding to the right and the left, and same setting for mobile. You could set the HTML element of this title, or you could just go ahead and change its font, just like we've done before. Font size, line height, letter spacing. Now these settings go for all of the text blocks, so you don't have an option to have each text block different styling. Then you have text block, you have the styling for this, so you could set that up. A different font, different color, and so on. Font size, line height. So here, let's say they're a little bit too cramped. We can add some line height in there, however you'd like. And last but not least, we have option to update the look of the button. So here as well, we could set the font itself and the font weight, max width of the button, so we can make it much wider. So for longer texts or for less wide buttons, you can add some more horizontal padding, and it's a little bit of a play between each setting of the width and the padding. to get it looking right. Vertical padding, so it gives more space above and below, so you can make it a bigger button that way. Border width, if you want a border for the button, set that up. We could set the color in a moment. Border radius, that's the style that you have on your site. Margin top, so you want more space between the text and the button. Margin bottom isn't as relevant since there's nothing that goes below underneath the button. And we have those same settings for the margin for mobile, for the mobile view. We can also set the font size of the button like that, and for mobile, and letter spacing as well. And then colors. So we can select the button background color, the text color, and the border color. So if we just choose that, so you can see the differences right over there. And then you have the hover options. So let's say we want no background, hover text to be black, and border to be, well, almost black, like that. And you hover over and you see the differences there. So that's it. Thank you again. We hope that this section helps you achieve your website goals. If you have any issues, concerns, questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us via the support page on our website. Thank you again.